Hello! This week I am continuing my Corset and Stays pattern testing series, and I'm going to be making a Renaissance corset from a free pattern from Ralph Pink. The pattern that I'm going to be using is their half boned stays pattern. They also have a fully boned stays pattern that I'd like to try out in the future. For this time we're going to be going with the half boned stays. This pattern for the half boned stays and their fully boned stays are the last free stays patterns I've found. I still have quite a few corset patterns that are free to go through, but if you're interested in seeing more stays patterns and you know of any free patterns, then let me know and I would love to try them out. I have already got the mock-up done for this one though, so let's go to the fitting. I think that it fits really well. It does close almost all the way, so I'll probably take maybe a ½ inch off of each side, so 1 inch total, so that I have more of a gap, so it's a little bit more adjustable. I did not bone all the way through the tabs because I was low on boning. I like the shape of the tabs a lot. I think they're really cute. They look like little flower petals, so I'm really happy about that. And then let's see, let's look at the back. The back looks pretty good as well, so I'm really happy with how this all turned out. If this is your only option for making stays, it's like one of 2 free options. This is a pretty good option. Like, I'm pretty happy with this. Let me see if I pull the shift down a little bit. What does that look like on my bust? It's doing the thing that stays do, which is push your bust up and out, so that's good. This will have some more boning in it later, so that will smooth out as well, because it's getting a little bit of wrinkling under the bust, but that's pretty normal, and having boning in there will smooth that out. The straps are a little bit short, I feel like. I think I would prefer to raise the neckline just a little bit because it is quite low, and you know, I just would like to have a little bit of extra security there. Doing a ½ inch above where the actual seam line is would be better, and I think that'll give me enough coverage and a good amount of support. I think that mostly I just need to let it, or take it in a tiny bit, just so that this is a little bit more of a gap, but other than that I don't think that I need to take anything else in. The proportion looks really good. It's not like some of my other ones where it's already at the gap and I know that I could reduce it more. This is very comfortable for me, and it also gets the look that I want. So at this amount, which is about like maybe 2 inches at the top, and then it does close all the way at the bottom, but it's got maybe about an inch gap at the ribs and at the waist. So that is a good comfortable fit. I just want the lacing gap to be a little bit wider, rather than when it does meet and I'm like, oh, I can pull this even tighter and get the silhouette that I want. This is a good silhouette already. So the only alterations I'm going to be making are for the lacing gap and increasing the adjustability. So that's it. Those are the only alterations I think I'm going to make to this pattern, is to raise the neckline by ½ inch above the bust. At the back, the neck is quite high and it does come in a lot, but I think I'm just going to leave that where these are, how far out they are, but I'm going to lower it just a bit so that it's easier to put wings into. So I'm going to lower that maybe by about like 2½ inches. I think there's a ½ inch allowance at the top, so I'm going to lower this by 2 inches and then also by that hem allowance. And that's it. So far I think this pattern is a really good option, especially since it's free. So we'll see how it looks when it's got all of its boning in it and when it's also in the actual fabric. But for a first mock-up, I think this is great. Minimal alterations, so let's go make those alterations. So the fit was pretty good on these. Mostly what I want to do is just reduce the waist a little bit so that there is space for adjustment in case my weight fluctuates at all. So mostly I'm just going to be taking off of the waist a little bit. So I want to do 1 inch off at the waist, which means that I only want a ½ inch through here. So because the back looked good, I'm just going to do 1/4 off of each of these seams, which means 1/8 of an inch off of each of these pieces, and that should get me the full inch all the way around at the waist. And I also wanted to raise the front neckline a ½ inch. And I want to lower the back neckline. For these stays and the fabric choice, I was really inspired by Proizvotstvo on Etsy. They are a Ukrainian seller, so I purchased these wanting to support a Ukrainian artist, and I think they're really beautiful. So these are the stays that I bought. I haven't had a chance to style them yet, but they're such a cute color, and I really don't have anything in this kind of like color family. I found out after I purchased from them that they use a lot of recycled tapestries in their stays, which I thought was very cool and very unique, and also a really good way to produce more sustainable fashion garments. I talk about sustainability and ethics in the fashion industry not infrequently on this channel, and it's a topic that I think is really important, and I really want to include more of it in my work. So in the spirit of sustainability, I have this fabric that my mom purchased when I was a child, so this is easily like 20 years old. So while this was purchased new, it was purchased new decades ago, so I think that it still counts, and it prevents me from buying something new from this project. So there we go. It's not the same or as cool as using tapestries in the stays. However, being in the US, that's not really an option we have here since we don't really have old things here. Generally, I have so much fabric already. I'm really making it a goal this year and hopefully forever in the future to use stuff that I have in my stash and use at least one stash fabric per project. It's even better if I can use multiple or entirely stashed fabrics. I was able to do that with my witch and my Renaissance fairy costumes from last fall. But I'm hoping to do more projects where I can really design around the fabrics that I already have, because I think it's really fun for my creativity, and also is really good for using up stuff and not having to contribute to constantly buying new fabrics. On the note of sustainability, I'm really excited to introduce the sponsor for today's video, Brooklinen. Brooklinen is giving you guys $20 off of your purchase of $100 or more using my code MINJI20, MINJI20 at checkout. If you have been with me for a little while, you know that I moved to a new house last year. If not, well, now you know. While my sewing room got a really great upgrade, I do have to spend about half my life in my bedroom. I've been really ready to make my bedroom pretty and get some aesthetic but also comfortable bedding, but I really hesitated at the price of luxury sheets. Plus, I was also holding out for a company that is sustainable and doesn't use synthetics or like bad chemicals in their bedding. I chose a soft ivory grayscale color palette because my walls are already very colorful, but they have so many options. You can mix and match from over 20 different colors and patterns. They're really easy to shop from online with both their Brooklinen Classic and their Luxe Hardcore bundles available. If you purchase the bundle instead of buying individual items, you can also save 25%. The Hardcore bundle includes a core sheet, extra pillowcases, and a duvet cover, making it a super easy one-stop shop for all of your bedding. Brooklinen has multiple options for their bedding textiles, and I chose their Luxe Sateen. I absolutely love cotton sateen as a fabric. It's super soft and has like a slight sheen, so it always looks super high-end. And I actually use it really frequently in my sewing projects. I also love that they're a little heavier than percale. I know that a lot of people love that hotel bed feeling. However, I am always freezing when I get into bed at night, even in the middle of summer. Because sateen is a little heavier and more tightly woven than percale, they're slightly warmer, which means that I don't have to sit there in bed waiting for myself to warm up. However, they're not so hot that they're like overly warm. Micah, who does like tend to sleep a little bit hotter, also finds them very comfortable. Hello, you like these too? Vat also likes them. The biggest plus for me though is that it's OECOTEX certified, which means that it's been tested for harmful substances, and it's been certified to meet the global safety criteria of the standard 100 by OECOTEX, which is very important for something that you have on your skin all night. Sustainability for fabric is not only important for not killing the planet, but it's also really important for your own health and safety. I also love to read in bed. I read for an hour every night to help my brain kind of wind down, and when I'm reading, I like fidget a lot, and swooshing my legs against the Brooklinen sheets is a really nice feeling because they're so soft. Is that weird? They're really soft and they're super comfortable, and it feels very nice, so I don't care if it's weird. Oh, hello, you like it too? And kitties also really love the new bedding. Honeybee hops up on the bed every single morning and likes to sink himself into the duvet cover, and he blends right in because he's the same shade. So if you'd like to make yours and your cat's sleeping experience better, Brooklinen is giving you $20 off of your order of 100 or more using my code MINJI20. That's MINJI20 at checkout. Put the link to their website in the description box down below, so you should totally check them out. You like the bed? You like the Brooklinen sheets? Yeah? Are you a happy boy? Don't fall off. it's raining. Since it's wet, there's not really anywhere to sit here, so we're just gonna sit in the back of our truck and eat here.
Peace.
Okay, I'm shooting. Oh, you wanna come help? Oh, hello! I'm shooting this outro before I shoot the reveal because the moment I step outside, my hair is going to completely collapse because it's quite wet out. This is not relevant to the video at all, but I think I'm finally getting the hang of putting curlers in my hair. I've been trying to like get good at it because it's useful for like fantasy stuff, right? But I'm not very good at it. I don't understand how people do all the separate sections by themselves. Like, I can't see the back of my head, so I'm just like, this is fine, I guess. Also, sleeping on them kind of sucks, but I think that I'm finally getting used to it, so yay! But to like the actual main point of this video, the stays I think turned out pretty well. They're not my favorite in terms of like pattern or I was kind of rushing at the end. Also, this fabric is not like super well suited to doing this much like small fiddly work because it is an upholstery fabric. My glasses are smudgy. All the tabs is like a huge pain because this fabric was fraying out a lot because I guess it is meant for very large projects, and then I was having a lot of trouble getting the ribbon around each of the tabs. I don't know if it's just because of like this particular pattern with the tabs. It just felt a lot more difficult to get them around like all of the little joins than stays I've made in the past. Like the red threaded ones, she has her problems with her patterns, but like they're fairly easy to get bound around the ends. So like I don't know why this one was so difficult. But it was like so fussy that I ended up having to hand stitch where it like joins together, and then I was able to machine stitch around the like wider curves, but it made it very tedious. So that was one of the things I didn't like. The like strap tabs, I guess, are like way up in my armpit and it's not comfortable. So I don't know, like I will wear these, it'll be fine because like they're for costume use. Like this is not gonna be a I wear this out to hang out, even though I am for the reveal, but having them way up in my armpits, not ideal. I would rather have them like kind of on the princess seam-ish. It's not quite princess seam, but like just outside of the princess seam rather than really in my armpits. I also don't like the square style. I like it when the straps are a little bit more rounded. Just like a personal design choice. So that is like, some people like it square, I guess. But just personally, I like it rounded. I think it looks cuter. It's also easier to bind off. Other things with this pattern, oh, the boning. The horizontal boning at the very top goes straight to the edge, so you can't stick grommets like at the top part of this. I don't know if you can see. The grommets only go up to about here, and that's because there are three bones. I think there was supposed to be 4, but the binding got in the way, so I just did 3. There's 3 horizontal bones that go all the way to the edge. So what Red Threaded does, she has the horizontal boning stop kind of shy of the edge, so you can fit boning and grommets in there, so the grommets can go all the way to the top. I do prefer that because it feels more secure and it feels less like everything is splaying out. So for this, like, sure, it's like stiff all the way to the edge, but also it's like I can't lace all the way up, which also makes it harder to hide the lace. So like if the lace goes all the way up, I can just kind of tuck it behind this corner here, but because it's like down in the middle here, there's nowhere for me to tuck it into, so that's kind of annoying also. Gotta say, this pattern was not my favorite, but it was free, so you know, it probably would be a good like jumping off point if you don't want to completely draft stays from scratch and you kind of know what you're doing in terms of pattern manipulation. I think that this could actually be used just fine. The other thing is I changed all the widths of the boning channels and just kind of followed my own, I didn't follow my own pattern, but like I changed all the widths of the boning channels, which meant I had to decrease the amount of boning, and that was just because I only have this width of boning and they wanted like really narrow boning. Maybe it's for cane or something, but I just worked with what I had. So yeah, problems that are my own fault. Let me see if I can sit up on the table. The bottom edge of this does not sit together. It's kind of crooked. and that was my fault because I set the grommets a little bit wrong. I was kind of doing this late at night last night while Mike was making dinner, and I was ready to get this just finished. So my grommets are not the best. So, you know, that's just a learning experience to be a little bit more careful. Usually I am pretty careful with it, but this time I was not because I'm trying to get this done. My sewing on the tabs is not the best because like I mentioned before, I had so many issues with it that it just like was not cooperating. But generally, I don't know, my sewing was fine, I guess. It's not my best sewing, it's not my worst sewing ever, so it's okay. Oh, the other thing I don't like, these tabs at the side here are just like really floppy and weird. Like they don't go all the way up into the body of the garment, they're only just like to whatever bone meets them next. So the bone only goes into the tab, which like is not very useful. Like this does not really provide that much support there. So I don't love that design choice either. I don't know. It feels like the stay pattern was made by somebody who doesn't understand stays. It just like nothing about it seems to be like oriented correctly. Like the boning all goes to kind of weird places, like having the short bones just kind of sitting in the tab only and like flopping around. That's not right. Having this go all the way to the edge doesn't seem right either. I don't know. It just maybe it's just based off of something that I'm not familiar with, but having made a whole bunch of stays now and knowing kind of what they're supposed to feel like, where the support is supposed to be, this is not it. So I don't know if I would really recommend this pattern. It's free, so it's worth the free part of it. It's worth the price, but I don't know that it's worth the time and effort that it took to make this. I think I want to make another pair of stays in this fabric because I do really love this fabric and I have tons of it to use up. So I think I want to make another pair of stays that maybe don't have the tabs and is more just like a straight across one, like the gold pair of stays that I made. So I ended up chopping all the tabs off of that one, and it makes it so that like the bottom is a straight line, the top is, I don't know, mostly a straight line besides the straps. And I think that will work a lot better for this fabric because it does fray a lot, and having all of those little fiddly parts, just this fabric was not having it. It was just not great. So I think that I do want to make another pair of stays with this fabric, but different style, definitely a different pattern. This is not great. I would recommend the Butterick stays over these ones. You can get them for like $1.99 or 99 cents whenever Johannes has their pattern sales, and I'll put that pattern number in the description because I don't remember it off the top of my head. But that one, it feels like it's essentially the same, but it's a better pattern, so I would go with that one instead. This is not a very good pattern, and I don't know. I think I'll try their other one at some point, but not for a while because this one made me not want to use their stuff. Sorry for the really negative review, guys. I hope that it's not too much of a downer. And like, they're cute. They're functional for costuming, but I wouldn't wear these for more than maybe an hour or two because they're not very well engineered. So yeah, my first like really negative review. So I guess that's a new milestone. Yeah. So I don't always only have positive things to say, so there you go. That's pretty much it for this video. I wanted to also thank Brooklinen again for sponsoring this video. I am super in love with the sheets I got. Like, my bed is so comfy, and it made like sleeping in rollers suck a tiny bit less. Also, my pillow helped. I have a very squishy pillow, but you know, whatever it takes to like help me have a better night's rest, I am happy for even incremental strides forward because I have a lot of trouble sleeping generally. But Brooklinen helped more than just incrementally. It really helps with my temperature regulation at night, so I really appreciate that. So if you would like to get your own set of Brooklinen sheets or bedding, you should check out their website and use my code MINJI20, MINJI20, to get $20 off of your purchase of $100 or more. And that's it. That's my video. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I have a couple of corsets that I'm currently working on. These are actual corsets, not just stays. So those are RNA black patterns. So those will be coming in the future, and that's that's what I've got for today. Okay, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like these stays, if you have any, I don't know, recommendations for other stay patterns or corset patterns that you'd like me to try out, or if you have recommendations for improving this pattern, I don't know, then let me know in the comments. I love to hear from you guys, and if you want to see any more of this series or the rest of my videos, then please subscribe. I hope to see you guys in the next one. Okay, bye!